Hi everyone, welcome to Alphawisdom. I'm Mr. Cassandra. This is lesson 109. And in this lesson, we are going to see a variety of thumb types. In a much earlier lesson, you were introduced to the types of thumbs, but most of those were with illustrations. Today, we are looking at photos of people with a variety of thumbs. All right, let's get started. The thumb is the most important part of the hand. We can think of it as one of your fingers, but sometimes in palmistry it's considered a little separately because of its importance. It reveals your drive, your willpower, and the extent of your forcefulness. It is a measure of your self-control as well as your need to control your environment and the people around you. A thumb that is unusual in its shape or significantly sized will always will always stamp its mark on the personality and thus should be taken strongly into consideration when assessing the character. So that's simply saying before you make a decision about the personality or character of a person whose hand you're looking at, take a good look at the thumb. The thumb tells you a lot. A whole lot. All right, let's get started with our photos. All right, now we're not concerned with any other part of the hand other than the thumb. So get used to it. So what do you look for? The upper flange, the upper section of the thumb. It has a natural curve, like it's making a circle. That is why it's referred to as flexible or floppy. And what happens in the thumb determines what kind of thinking you have. So a flexible thumb means a flexible mind, a person who has flexibility in his everyday life, everyday situation. So that's a good person to have around, a flexible person. All right, let's take a look at the next one. This is also flexible. You see a curve there? It's not standing tall. It just has a curve. All curves don't look the same. So just make sure you see that natural curve there. Okay? So that's another example of the floppy. Okay? So let's take another look at the floppy. Here's a hand with a larger thumb, but it has that curve there. That's a floppy thumb. So let's take a look on the other side. Yes, that's very clear. That's a floppy, flexible. Okay. Now, I think it's time for us to go on to the next type. This is the stiff one. Compare. You see how that thumb stands tall? It's like it's unable to bend. That is a stiff thumb. This person is not very, or rather flexible in their thinking. It's fixed. It's almost like tunnel vision when it comes to the thinking. When it's stiff like that, it's like you're limiting the amount of understanding, knowledge, thinking ability that you can have. So that's a stiff hand. That's how it looks on a female's hand. Let's take a look on a male's hand. All right. Here it is. You see it's stiff. There, it looks like it can't bend. I assume it can bend a little bit, but not at that joint. That's stiff. So this is a stiff thinker. Not flexible at all. Okay, let's go on. All right, then we get to the last type. This is the clubbed thumb. We've seen this photo before when they were introduced, but this is a reminder. So we take a good look at this. It's like a bulge, slight bulge behind the nail. And it's almost as though part of the finger was cut off. Now, because the thumb is this way, all of the fingers may not be, the remaining fingers may not be affected. So it's with the thumb. Since the thumb is such an important finger here, this is what it does, okay? Now, because the person has a clubbed thumb, that doesn't mean that there's no chance to be flexible. Don't automatically think that, oh, this stiff-minded person. No, it doesn't work like that. It's just usually they can be very flexible. So it depends on who the person is and what else is going on in the hand to make a final decision there. But the club thumb. Okay, let's take a look at photo examples. All right. Now, this has a curve, but notice the size, the length of that upper flange, and notice like a bulge on the thumb. The nail is small, we can't see behind it, but slightly you can see behind it, and you can see that this is a clubbed thumb. It's very short. When in doubt, check the flanges, the sections that tend to separate one part of the thumb from the other. Same thing with the fingers. All right? I think that's the last. Oh, here. This is the last example. Okay? Now, you see what I mean? It looks like part of the thumb is missing. There should be more flesh. But it's not to be with a clubbed thumb. You can see the nail extremely short in comparison to the average nail. Okay? So we may have flexibility with the clubbed thumb. The only thing for sure, if the thumb is stiff, there is no flexibility. Okay? All right. I hope we understood that. Okay. So ends lesson 109. I encourage you to give a thumbs up if you understood and you liked it, and also share and subscribe. Well, thank you for watching, and stay safe, and of course, be happy. Bye.